Here's the show.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Words with Whales. Elvis, we got Mac and Tuga. Just three guys that have been talking about doing a podcast for a long time and have finally pulled the trigger on it. We were talking about doing our first episode right around New Year's, really. And that day it was kind of like, all right, what are we going to talk about? Talk about, what's going on. Where are we right now? Things have kind of changed in the world a little bit since New Year's. But, here we are. We're in May of 2022. There's a lot going on in the world. Things are changing.
That's for sure.
What were you guys expecting to have go on this year when we were planning on initially starting this back in January? How did you guys think that things were going to be at this point in the year as far as COVID?
I personally was hoping for almost like a restart from 2 years of shitty COVID.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to the world kind of getting back to where it normally was supposed to be, and not have so much uncertainty of where we stand with this disease and how people see two sides, and it's very much so you're on one side or the other. But I think the vast majority, and I think us three included, are right there in the middle. We're just uncertain of what this actually is, and we just want to live our normal life and keep going and prosper, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of thought COVID would have been over, but still some of it is still around, and Ukraine has kind of taken over the media spotlight at the moment. So kind of COVID took a back seat, which I guess is kind of nice because things are starting to finally get back to normal. Whether it means that we're done with COVID or not is a different story. We'll soon find out. But the fact that the media has kind of been all about Ukraine, and Russia, they kind of stopped talking about COVID, and everybody's kind of no mask. Mask mandates are being lifted. You can go to restaurants without having to show your vaccine card. You can almost get back to normal.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Very much so. Especially in this area, right? I mean, because there's other areas of the country that are not as there's some places that are probably more open for anything more than here, but there's other places that are probably still holding strict.
Yeah.
I know. What was it? A couple weeks back, Philly had reintroduced their indoor masking.
They did.
And then what did that didn't last long though? Like what, 2 weeks maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty short.
Yeah, it was short.
Yeah, I was a little worried that was going to be the next thing again, but it's still out there.
Yeah, I just think the biggest issue is the uncertainty. No one really knows what to do, what you can do, what you should do, what benefits you, what benefits others. And I think that's where confusion happens.
Yeah.
Where you go to a restaurant, you don't know if, you walk in, you're supposed to have a mask, and then you sit down, you take your mask off, you get up to go to the bathroom, you got to put your mask back on. It's just it becomes confusing. So no one knows what they're doing, and ends up it probably does more harm than good.
Yeah. And restaurant owners are probably like glad that this is all over because I'm sure they lost tons of business. I mean, I know that me and my wife haven't been out to like a restaurant to eat like we used to before COVID because we don't want to deal with the mask, wearing a mask or the inconvenience of waiting in, whether you're waiting in line or having to show a vaccine card or whatever the case is, like all the checking and like, we don't want to do that. So we just stay home.
Is New York, do you know if like Manhattan still, you have to show vaccination?
I was there this weekend. Not sure about Manhattan, but we were in the Bronx and we went out to eat in the Bronx where they did have the vaccine requirement and they didn't ask for vaccines and no one was wearing a mask. Not even the servers anymore. Like I know that sometimes you go to some of the restaurants and there are some restaurants where the staff is still has to wear a mask. But a lot of that is starting to kind of go away in a lot of places.
Yeah, you're still seeing a lot of people voluntarily wearing it, but even
Yeah.
that's kind of waning a little bit out there.
It definitely is. I could definitely understand more for a server, a busser at
Yeah.
a restaurant to wear them, because that one individual is dealing with, 40, 50, 100 people throughout the night, which you as the customer, you're coming in and you're, other than your immediate family, you're talking to that one person who's waiting on you.
Yep.
Right.
That's it. So like the risk of
Exposure.
exposure is a lot less than that one person who's dealing from table to table, to from line cooks to bussers to bartenders to every other customer that comes in. If that person has something and worried about spreading, that's it makes sense for like a server to wear a mask more than even the customer itself.
Yeah. Yeah, we were at me and Jim went to Parks Casino on Saturday, celebrate our 11th wedding anniversary.
Nice.
And yeah, big 11. Yep. And yeah, the people in the restaurant, we ate at a Liberty Bell Gastropub. It was pretty good. But the people in the restaurant weren't wearing them. Most of the people working in the casino weren't wearing them. A few patrons were. There were a couple dealers that I saw that were wearing them, and they're right up against people at like the craps table or whatever.
Yeah.
And I could totally see that still. And if you just feel a little bit safer wearing it,
Oh, for
whatever.
sure. It's totally within your right to try to protect yourself as much as possible.
Yeah.
Except where you're alone in a car. Still don't understand that one.
You don't know, man. You don't know. The science.
Still don't understand that one.
Well,
But yeah, well, whatever makes you happy.
If that makes you feel safe.
If that makes you feel safe, because yeah, sure.
The big thing that I had heard as like a counter argument to that previously for the longest time was like, well, you don't know if they're an Uber driver. Most of the time, though,
Yeah,
not saying,
Yeah.
not trying to generalize, but most Uber drivers that I've seen, encountered, usually have their sign up or like Lyft driver or
sticker,
something
right.
like that.
They have like a
some sort
sticker
of
or
sticker or
some
something always on the
badge
car.
or something.
So
Yeah,
it's like, could be, could not be, who knows?
yeah,
But
maybe.
I mean, do you check for the sticker before giving them a hard time?
No. That's,
Should be your next order of business.
yeah,
Think twice. Don't think badly. Look for the sticker.
no. I just get out of their way.
guy's just trying to make a couple extra bucks. He's between routes. You're over here. He's between fares. You're over here dealing on him. Yeah. So the world, we weren't really sure where things are going. Things are uncertain. Even today, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? We could have another strain come through.
Yeah.
Things could get locked down again. Really hope not. I'm really enjoying the fact that things are kind of going back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like to keep it going in that direction. But yeah, who knows? Hopefully it stays that way. New Jersey definitely has been pretty good with that lately. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard on everybody, and hard on if you have kids in school, and I mean, you'll get there soon as that uncertainty of to keep them home, send them to school,
Yeah.
2 weeks later they're back home, they're quarantining, and then even some of the policies that the schools have don't make much sense. One kid could have COVID, he can't go to school, that person needs to quarantine, but his brother who lives in the same household
Couldn't go to school.
can go to school.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, but I guess how would they check that?
So-
How are they? How can they enforce that?
Yeah.
Well, that's an easy one. You have technology in place to make sure that, when there is a child that has a sibling that is also, or a child that's sick that has a sibling in the same school, there should be technology to help them identify that child and say, hey, not only do you have to quarantine and stay home, but your brother or sister also has to quarantine and stay home as well. Like that. I mean, there should be technology in place.
What if they
things
pass?
like that?
What if they testing are negative?
Well, how many times have you had COVID and 90% of the family has it, and then there's one that doesn't?
yeah.
It happened to me where everyone had it and I was negative, but everybody else was positive.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I think like a month later I got it. So it wasn't that I was,
Presenting with symptoms.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we just this past, I want to say it was February, we had it, and it was a situation where, Jenny had it, and first person to have it in the house, and she took 3 tests. It's fine. Everything came back normal, and then eventually, me and Bob took tests, came up positive, and then we retested her, and she came up positive. Like, almost like a week into it at that point.
Right.
She probably
So-
tested too early, or she was
Yeah, but
using.
It was
some of
weird.
these-
She was a couple days in already.
Are they all the same test manufacturers?
2 of those were different, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really remember exactly.
Some of these tests are, I don't know, maybe they're just not as accurate as they should be, or
Yeah. I know that they said there was a statistic in the beginning when all those at-home tests were coming out. I wanted to say that it was something like
there's,
if
like,
it was a positive, it was
You're-
like
you're
99% accurate.
Yep.
If
it's
it
a
was
negative,
it
you
was
might
like
also have it.
50%
Yeah.
or a quarter.
It was
25%.
less than 50% accurate if you were negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're positive, yeah, you definitely have it.
Yep.
But if it's negative, there's a 50-50 chance you might or might not,
Yeah.
which seems kind of silly, but it's all we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's so many different things that we've seen over the past couple of years of what could have gone better, what could have, been done better, and I think one of the best things that I've heard through that whole thing is that if we obviously the at-home rapid antigen test was not widely available right off the bat, but if we had cranked things up and gotten those out pretty much immediately and just given them to everybody, everybody, and just ask people, hey, please test like twice a week, just randomly.
Right.
Even if you feel good, you feel bad, whatever, test randomly. And if you come up positive, okay, we know that it's 99% accurate at that point. So you hang back for 2 weeks, you get better, self-quarantine, and then, go on. But you had to make appointments and get all these tests, and people were still out living their lives and still doing things, even if like they had stuff to do,
Right.
even if they still felt a little bit off. The symptoms were so wide that like, it could be anything.
Yeah.
So, my head, I got a little headache today. It's COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Is it?
especially with the Delta,
Yeah.
where it was
Yeah.
just bad cold.
Seemed to be. Yeah.
It seemed to be just like a bad cold.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's what I had. I literally I had a fever for a day, and then mostly just a headache, some stomach problems. I just felt a little weak, but I mean, I feel like that when I get sick,
Yeah.
But I'm just surprised. I'm surprised by how long you can still test positive after not having symptoms, and it varies per person.
Some cases, yeah.
Some cases, after initially it was 10 days, and then they changed the quarantine to after testing positive, then it was 5 days you need to quarantine before coming out. But I know people who 2 months later, after having COVID, they're still testing positive.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a couple pretty bad stories about that. Friend of mine, his mother had tested again and again and again. Like 3 months later, she was still testing positive. And that was kind of like earlier on. That was like I guess that was in the first year of it. So who knows?
Yeah.
I would imagine that all those tests, they had to have been good. She definitely took a bunch of tests.
But where it becomes a little complicated is, let's say you need a negative result.
Yeah.
Right?
To go back to work or to
Exactly.
do anything.
But if you didn't go to a doctor that documented when you first became positive, and let's say you did a test at home, you quarantined at home, so basically you don't have a documentation of when you tested positive. It could literally be 3 weeks later, and now you're trying to go back to work or take a flight,
Yeah.
and you are still testing positive, and you have no documentation from a doctor saying, no, he's past his quarantine period. he's good to go. He's still testing positive, but it's, it's one of those scenarios,
Yeah.
and you're kind of screwed. So now you probably need to test positive at a doctor's office, at a hospital, whatever urgent care, and then wait another 5 days.
Well, I mean, shortly after at home test came out, there was observable at home test, where you would take
proctored
a
test.
test, and it's a proctored test, and you would sign in online through video chat, and they would watch you take the test.
Yeah.
And then that was your proof, hard proof of when you took the test, whether it's a negative result, positive result,
Yep.
or whatever it is, and that's your date.
Yeah, I took a couple of them.
But that's, I mean, that came. It was very much at the tail end of what I'm calling like the last 6 months or the last year with
Yeah.
COVID. It was very much at the tail end.
Yeah.
It wasn't really available at the beginning.
Well, that's how they were saying that people were going to be able to adhere to mandates as far
Right.
as like, how can everybody just test if you didn't get vaccinated? How are these people going to be able to test all the time? And that was one of the options that you could do that, or you could go to a facility, get that stuff done.
Yep.
But we got to a point where things were winding down and they were able to change policies and everything, and things have kind of, I don't know, tapered off pretty quick in that aspect.
Yeah.
Seemed like things were
Well-
ratcheting up at the end of the year again, and then just a sharp drop.
Once the media stops talking about it, everything went away.
Yeah,
Media.
To an extent. I mean, from what we hear,
there was some of that, yeah.
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 But there was also, you could see around the holidays, just like the year before, there was a big rise.
Yeah.
And then I almost think that so many people, because this was still, I think, around the time of Delta at the end of last year, I think so many people got it that didn't test, or they did at-home tests, and they did their quarantine period and everything, and they got through it. And, when you do an at-home test, if you just do your self-quarantine period, nobody's knowing about that. If you go and get one done with like a PCR test, the state
Right.
doesn't.
Right. It's not
Now,
reported.
now it's reported.
Now it's reported into the statistics. Yeah.
I'm curious as to how many people in that period tested with at-home tests and pop positive and said, okay, 5 days, or whatever. At the time, it was still 2 weeks. It wasn't really until probably like March,
Yeah.
the time frame that they rolled out the 5 days thing. So you stay at home for 2 weeks, get better, go out, and it's not on the system. So, but here we are. Things are looking pretty good. So
better for sure.
what let's go on a lighter note. What now that things are opened up, what are you guys planning on doing? What do you think is going on in like the next couple months that you're excited about?
Hopefully some nice weather, man. Nice weather. Get out there. I hate the cold here. It's depressing to me. I lose energy. Like as soon as the weather gets nicer, man, I'm more productive. I feel myself wanting to be outside more, getting more stuff done around the house, even more productive at work, because it's not that hard for me to get out of the truck and start the process of working.
Yeah.
Or every time you take lunch, you eat. And then your food's digesting, and then you don't want to step back out into that frigid cold,
Yeah.
and get warmed up again, get your blood going. It's hard. So now when the hot weather comes, overall I think it's just a good vibe. You know what I mean? It's just good all around.
Yeah, I love this time of year. Perfect
great.
weather. Today was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like 70 degrees, sunny.
Great day.
Yeah.
Came home, still had time to cut the grass. It's not getting dark at 4:30.
Still got that tree in your yard?
I do.
Yeah.
Waiting for somebody to come and take it down.
Yeah. If only you had a good friend with a.
Yeah, if any of the
pole
listeners
saw.
know anybody with a chainsaw that can come over and take care of this tree, let us know.
Yeah. Let's see if I know anybody.
We'll see.
I have a chainsaw.
You got a
You
chainsaw?
do?
It needs a carburetor.
Yep.
I bought a carburetor.
Keep threatening to bring it over.
I lost it.
You lost the carburetor.
Lost the carburetor.
What do you have, a warehouse full of
No,
random stuff?
I don't order anything and ship it to the warehouse. Even warehouse stuff gets shipped to my house. because shit goes missing all the time there. But I ordered it. I remember receiving it, and then I put it to the side because I was like, oh, great, I got it. I'll put it in my truck with the chainsaw, and eventually I'll see Elvis, and we'll get working on this. I asked my wife, hey, what happened to that carburetor? I don't know.
Speaking about carburetors,
Yeah.
so I go on a bi-yearly process of buying a new power washer every 2 years. That's by
Yeah, we were
bi-yearly,
talking
right?
about this before.
Okay, so I'm not going to say the brand because they might be a future sponsor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say the brand. But so every 2 years I got to buy a new power washer, and I've been buying the same power washer for now going on 6 years. It's cheap. I like power washer, but it gets to a point where it will only run with the choke engaged in the starting position. Okay, so this year I took it upon myself. I tried taking it apart. I opened up the carburetor. I cleaned it. Looked at some YouTube videos. Came to the conclusion that it was probably fuel with higher ethanol than what it's supposed to be, right? Or yeah, not ethanol. Is yeah,
Or
Yeah.
ethanol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they sell
ethanol free.
10%. I
Right.
think in Jersey.
So it's saying maximum 10% ethanol,
Yeah.
but zero is better. So I said, okay. So what I did is, and through the research, it was like, there's a float that has a pin, and that pin swells up if you put like gas that has more than 10%. So it swells up, and then the float never levels out, and therefore it never runs in the run position.
Wait. That doesn't.
the pin doesn't swell up.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ethanol kind of coats the pin and it gums it up.
Yeah, because the pin is made of metal, and I don't think ethanol will affect the metal.
No, it's not going to
So
swell.
it might get gunked up with whatever the fuck is whatever's in there.
So what the YouTube video was saying, something along those lines. Maybe I might have it wrong. So I said, okay, it's hard to find just that pin. So I went on Amazon for $12. I got a brand new carburetor, all the fuel lines, air filter, spark plug. It was like $12.99 or $12.95, something like that. I got it all. I replaced spark plug, all the fuel lines, carburetor, gasket, the 3 gaskets that it sends me, everything new. And then I bought the expensive stuff from Home Depot. That's zero ethanol, made
like
for that stuff.
$20 a gallon.
Put it in there, same shit.
Carb is probably tuned to have ethanol. The guy who tuned it probably used ethanol gas.
I don't know. I don't care. I found my solution.
But there's a
Buy a
pin.
new one.
There's a pin on the carb that you set that opens up the needle either more or less, depending on
Yeah, there's
where
adjustments.
there's adjustments. So when you get
I
the
have the
carb,
wrenches for it. The drivers.
yeah, when you get the carb and you install the carb, it's never tuned correctly. So you have to tune it to
Why don't
stay
they just
running.
install it correctly? Because I bought
Because-
it for that model.
Because
of
90%
power washer.
because
for that model of engine.
So even with that, there's probably still some tuning between units.
So
There's-
better yet, every
Yeah,
2
I know
years,
you-
just buy a new one.
Yeah, you can do that. You just buy a new one.
well, you should.
There's
be-
also YouTube videos on how to tune carbs. I'm not that good at it.
Well, this is, remember years ago I always proposed a plan where there was one guy that introduced me to this. I rented a wood
Like a grinder?
no, a wood splitter.
Okay.
I went to a wood splitter from a guy. It was a wood splitter on a trailer, right? So you go pick it up, you hook it up to your truck and go. So I rented it from him, and got talking to him, and he's like, yeah, what I end up doing is every 5 years I swap it out for a new one. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, well, I get the 5-year warranty, and every 5 years I just make sure that I can swap it out for a new one. He learned how to beat the system. Maybe you should invest in those warranties. Not that those warranties are like a profit gaming scheme, but
That's right.
maybe in your case it can actually work out for you.
Have you talked to the car warranty people?
Oh God.
Because they've been trying to reach you.
Yeah.
This whole thing is us trying to reach you about your car warranty.
Yeah.
We'd like to sell you one. No?
No.
Not buying one?
No.
They're a really good deal.
No.
Extra extended 5 years. Your
Did you
truck
start getting the
does-
texts?
I've been sending those to you.
No, no, no. I'm dead serious. No, no, no. Now that we're talking about all the spam phone calls, I recently, as of 2 weeks ago, I am now getting spam texts, which I never used to get before.
I know I've
and
been
it's-
getting some spam.
And it's
texts.
some
warranty?
weird, I don't know if it's warranty. It's just like straight up weird numbers that say hi, and that's it. And they'll wait for you to respond or say, "Hi, this is Randy from so and so, and you know, how are you doing?" Like trying to be all friendly.
Yeah, they're trying to get your information.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Randy.
know. I don't know how they got my phone number. Let's go with that.
They just probably text random ones.
I don't know what's going
Maybe.
on.
They start at the top and just roll
They're
their way
they're,
down.
they're either texting random ones or there's something about you that they're looking to find out some more info.
I don't know.
Or they're trying to maybe they know you're a mark, so they're just trying to scam you.
But they have gotten very smart. Like they started using
Have they,
numbers.
though?
They
Have
they
they?
started using numbers that are very similar to your number.
Yeah.
To make you question, like, wait, do I know this person? Why
Yeah.
does he have the same.
Sometimes it's
same
your
digits
number.
as you.
Sometimes it's your number. Have you ever been called by your own number?
No.
I know so many people who have. I've been called by my own number. I'm like,
Doesn't that just give you the voicemail?
no,
Then you got to press 1.
no. They're running some sort of program that changes the number.
Am I
they
being
can
charged for
run your
minutes?
Yeah, 10 cents per text.
You remember when that was a thing?
Oh man,
I-
people get
is that
pissed if
still
you
a thing?
text them. No,
It's not a thing, right?
can't be.
I remember like, oh no, call me after 9. Or if you're out, you'd purposely call somebody
Yeah.
and let it ring twice and make sure they don't pick it up. So you hang up. So then they call you. Then they use their number, their minutes.
Yeah, I never got that deep into it. I had a friend that he showed me a real good deal back at Singular Wireless
Okay.
back in the day, and yeah, I got some sort of good deal. I was paying like a normal rate, and I was getting like way more minutes than I could ever use. So
An inside man.
I wouldn't necessarily call it that, you know.
Right.
I think I just got a discount code or something like that, you know.
Okay.
So I don't know how it was, but got
Yeah,
plenty of minutes. I wasn't worried about that.
I didn't have that deal.
Yeah.
I remember my bill at one point was like, this is like 90s, right?
Yeah.
So this is when the razors and the flip phones, and this is when cell phones had the race to
I
the
think
smallest.
the Razor came out
it
in
was-
like 2004.
This was like when cell phones had
2003?
the race to the smallest phone,
Yeah.
right? That's how it was all
yeah.
about having the smallest phone. And
Yeah, it was like a French fry.
and I had
What was the Zoolander phone?
I had a tiny Nokia, and I think my plan was like 600 minutes a month or something, but I exceeded that by like 3 or 4 times, and then that's when each additional minute was like almost $1.
Oh yeah, it
That
was murder.
crazy. It's like a $2,000 bill, and I was like, I don't know, 18, 19.
Yeah.
I wasn't making that money.
The bulking up of the entire cellular system and everything has been a huge bonus to just about anybody who's used a phone. Granted, it's a totally different game now with all the data and everything like that.
Now it's data. Yeah,
Yeah, but-
it's all about data.
But now it's all about data, so phone calls don't matter anything.
Yep.
And now we're getting to a point where it's unlimited. You know, There was the point where you went through where they were giving you unlimited because there weren't so many people using the data, and then they figured out like, oh crap, way too much is going on here. They started throttling people and everything. That wasn't really necessarily good either. But
Right.
now nobody's worrying about my minutes or
Nope.
everybody's going on an unlimited plan.
Well, there was a theory that whenever you called somebody and the automated voicemail came on, the theory was that the voicemail lady would purposely talk for long
To burn
before the beep in order to burn minutes.
I can't see any business ever saying that
No.
they should direct their people to do anything like that. That's
Yeah,
just-
really?
That's,
They're definitely not going to admit to it.
No, they won't admit to it.
why would they have to? They wouldn't.
They don't have to admit to it.
No, they wouldn't do anything like that.
No, definitely not.
Duh.
Wink, wink.
It's like the power company charging you for transporting of power.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, utilities like that, they can kind of do whatever they want because we need them. We need them. And especially here in the States. I mean,
Who doesn't need a phone?
but, yeah, I mean, phone,
But
gas prices, utility prices, energy. It doesn't really matter. We kind of just shut up and pay it. I know, like in Europe, they're a lot quicker to strike, just stop. You know,
Yeah.
tractor trailers out in the middle of the road. Gas prices go up a certain amount, no trucking happens.
Yeah.
This here is just we're such a go-getter, not go-getter society. What was like? It's just so fast-paced here, so much industry here that there's no way that a big tractor trailer company is going to put a stop to their trucks to strike a cost increase in diesel.
Well, isn't that what Canada was trying to do?
But that was a different
That was-
story.
that
That,
was
started out with like with the mask mandates and stuff like that, the vaccine mandates
Yeah.
for truckers, well, for everybody. But no, I could see at some point something happening that there would be some sort of big general strike like that, and that basically is what happened in Canada. It's just not over gas prices,
Right.
and I don't know if, like you're saying, you know, it's a very market-based entrepreneurial society. I don't know if you're going to get that many companies that are just going to say, yep, we're going to do this, because if you don't work, you don't make money. You know, if you're owning a trucking company,
Right.
like,
Well, if you don't do it, someone else is going to.
yeah, somebody else is going to do it.
I think that's
there's
the
plenty of-
big one. Is that
Very,
there's-
very few will stand united for even if it's for a better cause.
Yeah.
right?
There's always that one company or two companies that are going to be like,
Yeah, I'll
we'll
do it.
If they don't do it, we'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And undercut, or just do things that that go against the grain of what this other company or other companies are fighting for, and they'll get the job.
Yeah.
The world keeps turning, man.
There's always somebody to pick it up.
Yeah, and that's why they have this sort of
unions.
well, I was going to say like unlimited power as far as they can hike prices, they can change policy, they can even do things that are not the best for the customer's sake. But the customer is going to take it. They'll take it on the chin and move on,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's upset right now about gas prices, you know, and they're throwing a million excuses out there as to why it is. Some people are saying that it's the company's profiting. Some people are saying the war in Ukraine.
Right,
You know,
but
there's something.
the biggest issue, or what people are complaining about is you have gas prices that are crazy. Like within a matter of 2 days, diesel went from $5 a gallon to $6.50 in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like I pass this gas station every day,
Yep.
and the one day I decided not to fuel up was the one day that I missed it, and it went to like $5.45.
And the next
or
day you pay an
$5.65.
additional $40.
And then the next day I was like, oh, it'll go back down because it's been constantly going up and down, up and down, up and down. Next day it hit $6 or something like that, or $6.10, and now it's like $6.50. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Still gotta fucking pay it. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say, or what I was gonna say, is you have gas prices that are increasing, and then you have all the petroleum companies that are making record profits.
Yeah. I saw a big
So
report on that today.
how is it? They're obviously related, right? You know, this is the same thing as of like a year and a half ago when you had, pharmaceutical companies that are involved in all the COVID vaccines and the COVID testing and all this stuff, and then they're making record profits, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody's complaining about the cost of tests being so high.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Yeah.
No, that's just ridiculous. I don't know what you're trying to get at there. Yeah, they got to make money.
I mean, I get it. Everybody got to make money.
Yeah. No,
But-
They do it because they can.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of the
They do it
market.
because they can.
And it makes sense, right? Because as a business owner, if people are willing to pay more for a product, you're going to charge more for a product.
that's there's a lot of times you hear about like price gouging, and it's like, all right, well, what is price gouging? Yes, I know if I'm selling a product that everybody needs, and say gasoline, if I bought the gasoline and I can sell it to you for a profit at $3 a gallon, but all of a sudden there's some sort of scarcity and I'm selling it for $10 a gallon, like if there's a power outage or something like that, yeah, we got price gouging. But at what is the acceptable level in that
Well,
range
that's easy.
of
The
like,
acceptable level is the level at the point where people are no longer willing to pay for it.
yes.
Because that's, I mean, it's the same thing as the lumbers.
but there's
lumber
a law.
companies
But
did
where
the
does
same.
that-
The
where
lumber,
does that come in?
I'm sorry.
Isn't-
The lumber
isn't there-
companies did the same thing. They, you know, during COVID, they lost a whole bunch of manpower. They lost a whole bunch of people. So now they had to hire either temp or pay more for their employees, and then they were charging more for the product.
Yeah.
But they also recorded record profits. So
Because they didn't have to pay so many people.
right. Well, and it's also because a lot of people are still willing to pay. We're willing to pay more for the lumber.
Yeah. Yeah, that was clear when it's kind of like gas with futures and everything, where you have the current gas price that you see for like not gas, but the price per barrel oil.
yeah.
It's not right now. This is not real time. It's like a 6-month delivery time. So you're seeing the prices that really would be down the road, but you see the gas stations totally running with it. You know, and it's got to be driven by something. I don't know at what level that is. If it's the gas station saying, well, we know we're going to get screwed down the line. Let's try to start making some money now. Everybody knows that oil prices are going up. We're going to make that up now because I know that when it's up there and we're kind of at a real tight margin because everybody's trying to keep their prices down, we're going to kind of be on the edge. So I get that too. Like you're trying to figure out where your actual money profit margin is in there and how you can average that out over the entire year, not just like in the now. It's a tough thing. Every industry does it, but who's really taking advantage of it and at what level? What level is that at? Is it? I didn't really read too much about
they all
the lumber companies.
Yeah,
and all
but
that,
they're all doing the same thing. I mean, they're reading the market and taking advantage of the market.
Yeah, take advantage of it. And
they're
as long as the big guys, the 2 or 3 or 4 that
Yeah.
exist, if they all stay within the same bandwidth of each other, then they're all competitive with each other.
Yeah.
And that's where the vast majority is coming from. And then the smaller guys are going to follow suit or maybe undercut a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're still smaller guys. So the
It's not going to make as much
it's
of
not
a
going to make as much
difference.
difference.
Yeah.
But they all talk. You know what I mean? Every major competitor talks.
Even if they're not talking,
But yeah, even if they're not talking, they're watching.
Yeah.
Because so you got companies like Home Depot and Lowe's that only purchase their lumber from the big. There's like 4 or 5 big lumber
twisty
companies.
pine company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 4 or 5 big lumber companies, and out of the 5 of them, I think 3 of them are public and 2 of them are private. So they only purchase from the public companies, like the big, huge companies, and then all these other companies are just going to watch Home Depot's price and be like, all right, well, go somewhere around there.
Yeah. If that's the going rate,
That's
what
the
we're gonna
going
sell.
rate. Sure.
Yeah, they're the biggest.
And I get it. There was
suppliers.
there was labor shortages. There's still labor shortages, which means that you're and not only do you have labor shortages, but now you have people like your labor prices have increased. Like I have at my business, like we have increased our labor rate easily 30 or 40% over pre-COVID till now, just because we can't find people to work at the old rate.
Yeah.
So you increase the rate. If you increase the rate, you got to increase your product rates as well. And I get all that, but I'm not making record profits and charging 20 times more.
No.
Well,
Because
as prices.
it all trickles down. You know what I mean? Like the cost of business rises, and therefore people need to pay more for whatever product they're buying. I mean, it is what it is. You're now making more money, even though your wage went up, because you're also paying more. You're paying that percentage or more to get what you need to run your business.
Correct.
And all just trickles down to the consumer, to the very fine, the very last person that is buying that product or service. And as long as they're still willing to pay, then I'm still willing to charge it and willing to buy at an inflated rate.
that's
because my
the
business
thing.
is still going.
Yeah.
As long as people are willing to pay the increased price, you're going to charge it, because as a business owner, you're going to want to make as much profit as you can. I mean, there's some. I would
Unless you
say
start a
that,
nonprofit,
Yeah.
you're in it to
you're in
succeed,
it to succeed. You're in it to
make money.
yeah, and it's not just like, and that profit doesn't always just go to the owner's pocket. That profit might go into expansion, more jobs,
Sure.
different equipment, different things. It's like, so it's not to say that, the business owners are just doing it just to make more money for themselves. They might want to expand. Now, this is like small business talk, right? Not necessarily these big conglomerate businesses that, pay out bonuses of like, $10 million, $20 million bonuses.
I'd like that.
Yeah, I would like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're going to adjust their prices to reflect all the different costs involved, whether that's materials cost, labor cost, taxes, even taxes. If a company says, or if the government says, "Oh, we're going to raise taxes X number of percent or lower them," granted, if they raise them, everybody knows, oh, well, they just raised taxes, and we can add that into the price. Well, that's going to trickle down to us, lowering them.
Yeah.
Some business owners are going to say, well, that's a way that we can just kind of hold on to some of that extra money. We can actually make a little bit extra profit in there because we're not going to be taxed. Maybe we can put it to expansion. I think a lot of the times you hear when people are going after rather large companies about like, oh, they don't pay anything in taxes. I think the majority of that actually goes into the idea that they're just reinvesting a lot of that money. Maybe they are reinvesting so much that they are skimping on other things. There's definitely things along the line that they're skimping on to save that money, to reinvest it into other things, and also to turn a profit for stockholders and everything. But it all gets reflected in that price.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Well, I mean, bottom line, if people are still willing to pay whatever it is,
Yeah.
they have no reason to change, and it won't change unless people are fed up and it comes to a point where they put a stop, and then it'll trickle up. Whoever they're getting their supplies from or that service from is no longer getting that business. Now that business is going to no longer buy more product or service from the next step up, and so on and so forth. And maybe a change will happen.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's going to take more people getting involved in different things and getting like it opens up new markets for people. Mm-hmm. Granted, you may not be able to just break into something that's already, a monopoly, not necessarily even a monopolized thing, but something that's really tough to get into, like
Power
or even
utility
like
company.
Yeah,
ISP.
Yeah, any major company that has like a big foothold in something, even like the giant retailers, like Target, Walmart, like it's going to be really tough for somebody else to get up in there and kind of take some of that business. They've been known for years to be growing and like kind of pushing out smaller businesses everywhere they go. And it's just, they've got the buying power. They've got all the resources behind them. They can do that. But I think in some industries, there's room that these issues that we're talking about create little pockets where somebody can say, okay, well, I could do that. I could do this for cheaper, or I could do that better. Mm-hmm. Maybe not cheaper, but better. And if you can like put that quality portion out there, there's a big, push to go to things that are more localized and more, whatever it is, more environmentally friendly, or less materials, or made from recycled materials, or you think of any benefit that people can think that's not just how cheap is it. Yes, especially in times of inflation, record inflation, as they're talking about, people are going to gravitate towards the cheaper things. But I think there's still a lot of people that are out there going for slightly more expensive things that are higher quality. And I think that that's going to create that opening for people that maybe, they're having trouble finding their way in the world today economically, like whatever they're into. Maybe they're in a job that they don't think that they can, that they want to continue on. They don't want to make it a career, whatever it is. They might be able to find a foothold and create a new product or create a better way to make another product, innovate. And you're going to see a lot of that coming up. I think in this, like the economy that we're going into with all this inflation and everything that's going on. I think I'm really excited.
I think a lot of people will find their own little separate niche
Yeah.
of different industries and different things to get involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore able to justify cost. If you can quickly go to the big box stores or an Amazon and get something, even if it's a standard quality and it's cheaper, but a lot of people are going to be willing to pay a little bit more for something that either makes them feel a little better, whether it's buying USA made or homemade, or by a retired veteran, or there's always little niches people can find to get involved in and be profitable.
Yeah. While we're talking about that, is it niche or is it niche? What do you say,
I don't know.
Mac?
I say.
rolling.
What did I just say? Did I say
You
niche?
said niche.
It's a niche.
But I say niche, but I also say niche when I want to sound fancy.
It's probably proper niche, because a niche is also like you can have a shower niche, which is
It's not a shower niche. Niche.
No, it's a niche.
Niche.
what's
shower
a,
niche,
what's
It's a shower niche.
What's a niche in the shower?
like
Like where you put your soaps and stuff.
right, like something that's
No.
in the wall,
Nope.
In the
Instead of
wall.
instead of
like
a shelf, that
like a
protrudes
recessed
out.
shelf.
Like a nook? Some sort of nook?
Sure. You can call it a nook,
Okay.
but it's called a.
I mean, I wouldn't have
It's called a
breakfast in
niche.
there.
It's called a niche.
It's a niche.
It's called a niche.
All right.
A niche.
I don't have a fancy little thing.
Like if you go searching on
wall.
Google and Amazon and you search for nook, you'll get like a few results.
Yeah.
But if you search for niche,
Yeah.
you'll get them all.
Now, the shower niche, does that have an E at the end?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Niche.
Niche.
Niche. That's a niche. Yeah. Yeah, just put the shampoo back in the niche. No, never actually heard that.
No.
No. Nope. We don't have one of those.
No.
No.
You got to redo your shower then.
No, we just redid the shower. It looks great. We love it. But we don't have a niche in the shower.
No,
I'm a little
Wayfair.
upset about that. Oh, Wayfair?
You don't have one of those things? I mean, not purple, but
No. Nope.
Shower niche.
No, I thought about asking to have something fancy put in like that, but no. We just got the shower caddy that goes over the thing. We got a good one too.
yeah.
I think we picked it up at the Costco. It's real nice. Yeah. Holds a lot of stuff.
Costco's cool.
Yeah. I appreciate Costco.
Costco is good, but it's well, let's say I've gone to Costco basically to kill time, and because they have so many things that I didn't know I needed.
And the free samples.
Actually,
I actually avoid the free samples.
I don't eat a lot of the free samples. When I was a kid going to Sam's,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would spend a majority of time eating free samples.
Yep.
While whoever I was there with was shopping.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that much at Costco. But it's hard to find. It's hard not to find something that you didn't know you needed, and now you're buying. The issue is, although it's cost effective there, I always end up leaving there $300, $400, $500, less in my pocket.
It's crazy how that
crazy.
happens.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it does happen. They know
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. I was just talking about this the other day. I'd seen a whole report before about how Costco loses money on their rotisserie chickens. I don't know if they're still $5 a chicken now with,
not sure.
prices going up. Things have, food-wise seem to have actually doubled. I don't know about the 7.5% thing. But, yeah, they used to charge $5 for their rotisserie chicken. They keep them exactly at the very end of the store. so that you go in, you're just gonna run in real quick, get a $5 chicken for dinner, feed the whole family. You run in and
You pass a whole bunch of other stuff.
there's a whole
Yeah.
thing of 64 AA batteries. Like,
Yeah.
I need that. You know, like whatever it is, they've got it set up to the point where, yeah, they're losing money on the chicken, but they got you on a bunch of other stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which
There's
you
a
know,
but
I didn't know I needed that.
I mean,
stuff.
they're in business for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? They're a successful brand
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yes. Agreed. They get me every time.
They do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing fancy about the store.
do you actually eat the chicken though? Like the rotisserie chicken?
No, I throw it in the trash.
No, like have you actually like I have never. I think we purchased the chicken maybe once, and I wasn't a big fan.
No, I mean it's not their lasagna or anything, but you know.
I just didn't. I didn't think it had much flavor.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's a rotisserie chicken.
Rotisserie chicken.
It's
but-
a $5
Yeah.
chicken. It is what it is. It.
I mean,
I've had
it's literally a chicken. It's a meal.
Yeah.
Cheaper than
Well, you still need a
cheap,
side.
cheaper than a.
Who needs
okay,
a side
but
with a
it's still
$5
cheaper
chicken?
than a fast food joint, a
Yeah.
McDonald's,
Yes. Yeah.
or
well,
Burger King.
Yes, but
You get a
still
Big
need-
Mac
you
now.
still
You're
need
dropping
a-
$8.
Yeah, but you still need a side. Now you can do their $6 pizza.
Eat the chicken.
You can do the $6 pizzas, and when you're going around to the registers, pick yourself up some heartburn medication. You know.
Well, the pizzas are not in the back. The pizzas are way in the front by customer service. So you don't even have to enter the store. You can actually go through the customer service entrance and not even
The
touch.
frozen ones are over there.
No, the cooked one.
Oh,
the
where they
cooked
have the
ones,
hot dogs
yeah.
and stuff.
Where they got the hot dogs and
Yeah.
stuff. You can there's a phone number you can order for pickup.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they still get me too.
I'll be honest with you. I never.
I
really
used to
looked at-
love going there because of them.
Yeah.
Old slice like
Big old slice.
Yeah.
I don't do the pizza anymore. I do the turkey sandwich is pretty good.
doesn't do the pizza anymore.
Doesn't do
No.
pizza anymore. How about the lasagna?
There's no lasagna there. Costco's lasagna is great. At least I think so.
Wait.
There's two versions of their lasagna. There's the sausage and meat one, or sausage and beef, and then there's just the beef one.
Okay.
It's like $20 for a 2-day meal.
We should pick some up next time.
Yeah.
Next episode.
What kind of sides are you eating with that?
You don't eat it. Some Texas toast.
So you're
Like
paying
croutons?
$20 for 2 days. So it's like $10 a day, but no sides.
No sign.
But if I get a chicken for $5, I need sides. I eat a whole chicken.
You can eat a whole chicken.
No,
Oh.
no, I can't. So that means I don't need any sides.
That's
with
right.
it. Pick up a 24-pack can of beans.
There you go.
Boom.
Beans and chicken.
No single cans.
Speak-
Unless the can is like
Yes.
this big.
Big ass.
Yeah, 5-pound can of beans.
bag.
Speaking of
Can of
food,
beans.
speaking of food and summer, I'm excited for barbecues again.
I can't wait.
It's probably one of my favorite parts of the summer. Nice weather is getting together, grilling, having a couple of beers,
Yep.
cornhole or horseshoes or something. It's all those things we miss
Yeah.
in this part of the country that doesn't happen during winter. So grilling.
We could start grilling in the winter too. I mean, we could just do that.
We can.
Get parkas.
Kind of cold.
Eh,
Nobody wants to stand outside in the cold.
all right. Whatever. Build a whole pavilion over my backyard.
Still, nobody wants to stand outside in the cold.
You guys need to get better clothes. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited too. I was telling you guys before that I was planning on building a grill this summer. My old charcoal grill was taking a crap. The whole inside rotted out, and I had already welded a bunch of stuff up in there, and it was kind of limping along. So at this point, it's just done. I was just driving down the street the other day going to my parents' house and found a grill right on the side of the road. I passed by it.
Like for scrap?
Yeah. It's
You sure? Nobody was cooking on the
so
grill?
no, it was in the street.
Like Uncle Bob was
not
coming
on
by
the
with his
curb,
truck to pick it up?
in the street.
Oh, okay.
So I drove by and I'm like,
The wind blew it off.
oh my god, that looked like a really good grill. I don't know. I'm in the truck. I could totally get this grill right now. and I'm like, it's got to be all rotted out inside, or something's wrong with this grill. I get down the street and I'm like, nah, I got to go back around. It looked too good from the outside. So I pull back around, and there's a guy on a riding lawnmower sitting right in front of it. I'm like, he's got it all right. He's got it. And I see another riding lawnmower there with nobody on it. And the landscaping truck around the corner, I'm like, oh, okay. He told his buddy to run over there, get the truck, come back, pick it up. So I just drive by, go to my parents' house. I'm there for like 2 hours. I come back. This grill's still there. So I stop. I'm thinking, like, something's got to be wrong with it.
Yeah.
I open it up. It's got damn near new grates inside. The worst part about it was that the plastic wheels were falling off. So
Brought it
pulled it
home.
around. I picked it up. I put it in the truck. As I'm putting the tailgate up, I hear the guy come out his front door. He's like, "Hey, buddy, I got a bag of charcoal and a bag of chips for you." It's not just a charcoal grill. It's got the little smoker
it has a
box on the
smoker on the
side and everything.
side.
He's like, "Yeah, I just got one of those Traeger grills. It was on sale." He's like, "But you'll love this." He's like, "I got 2 different, wood chips and everything. Once you get into this, you're gonna love it."
Then you get a Traeger.
Yeah, eventually, maybe
Maybe.
I'll build my own.
Nah,
Who knows?
nah.
Yeah,
You got the pellet smokers. Oh, I hear.
I'll probably get something like that eventually. But I'm
So
planning on building
pretty
like
good reviews on 'em.
kind of. I got a bit of an idea in my head. Gonna do like some big ass Argentinian grill, maybe.
Oh,
We'll see.
a fancy one.
Yeah,
Have to look it up.
yeah, we're gonna be growing some meats.
I didn't, well, I know that there's a lot of meat in Argentina, a lot of cows, a lot of cattle,
There are.
but I didn't know that.
There's a specific grill.
Yeah, the Argentina
Yeah,
grill.
There is.
they have like the it's like a tray that lowers.
So you got the tray that lowers, but also
It's like a I don't. So you have a tray, and then there's like a little wheel, and
Right.
it goes up and down with the wheel.
Okay.
So that's how my old grill was, that you raised up the bottom. It was the same one that John used to have. Mm-hmm. And from what I've seen, and it's just watching people online, the one that I'm thinking of, you build a fire and you basically rake the coals out from the fire under the grill. So you could load it up with charcoal, but it's not. It doesn't have like a raising and lowering mechanism. I could build something like that into it, but right now I'm thinking just like some sort of firebox that, as the wood is cooking down and dropping coals out the bottom of this box, I'm just gonna rake them under the grill area. But whatever.
Cool.
Could do pretty much anything with it.
Yeah.
And I got a good grill in the meantime, so I'm not hard pressed to make it like tomorrow.
Have some good luck.
Yeah.
You can find some good stuff on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Benches, chairs. I have a bunch of outdoor furniture that was like about to go in the dumpster. Mm-hmm. I brought it home. People upgrade. You know what I mean?
So they're all
Some people's trash, other people's gold.
Winning.
That's right.
Yeah. I was driving along one day and found a tiller, a garden tiller. It's right on the side of the road.
Okay.
It's next to the woods. Nobody's around. Like nobody even like owns this area.
Maybe it fell off the truck.
I put it in my Subaru, in the back seat, in my what is it? What do I get? Legacy. Yeah, throw it in my Legacy, and I think that's where I got the one cut in my upholstery. But it's not too bad. Not too bad. But the thing was fine. There was a little piece on it that was broken off. I just tack welded it. It's good to go. First pull, man.
Like one of the
Started
blades?
up. No, it's just basically a guide for the
Like a cable?
this thing's got reverse on it and everything, and it's just a guide to keep the rod for the reversing mechanism
Right.
just in place. So I just tacked it in place, and first pull, thing starts up. Thing's great. It's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, free. I like free stuff.
Freeze for me.
Yep. So,
Cool.
yep.
All right. So
We'll be about an hour in now.
yeah, just about
First
59, 40.
All right.
should wrap this one up.
I think it's been a pretty good one.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
about an hour is good to start.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I got some topics that I've been writing down, so we're gonna have some good ones.
Cool.
So,
For sure. And for anyone who is going to listen, thank you for bearing with us.
yeah, this is our first episode. Obviously, we've said that a couple times. If you can't hear us, if there's some sort of technical difficulty that we've had, please let us know.
Let's hope not.
Probably not, right?
I hope not.
Hope not.
Yeah. Do we have anything people can reach us at? You can reach me on my social medias. My gardening habit, pretty much on every social media, or my traveling habit. Facebook, TikTok,
Yeah, go check them out.
Instagram.
Give them a like, give them a follow, and we'll have something, soon for us here.
Yep.
But until then, see you guys later.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.